I have some paraffin wax here that I've gotten a little too hot. The safest thing to do would be to dunk the test tube in some ice water that I have in a beaker over here. So let's do that real quick. Oh, what in the world just happened? So by placing the beaker into cold water, it literally exploded into a ball of fire. And look, my beaker's still intact, still holding hot wax at the bottom. Some people claim the wax has an exothermic reaction with water. Others say the glass cracks when it hits the cold water and then the hot wax instantly flashes the water to steam. And that sprays wax upward and the wax then ignites from the nearby flame. On Reddit and physics forums, you'll also see people insisting that a flame must be involved for the explosion to happen. So after I've heated it, I've turned off the flame, moved it across the room so it's nowhere near, it can't light it on fire at all. Whoa, and look at that, it still happens. And the test tube is still intact and still holding the wax at the bottom. So what's causing this explosion and the fire afterward? So let's look at this explosion one more time. There's no flame nearby, but suddenly after the test tube hits the water, a white mist comes off the top and then a fireball forms at the top. This tells us the most important thing. If this were a chemical reaction with water, the fire would start at the point of contact with the water, but it doesn't. It happens at the top. That's where the wax vapor has mixed with the most oxygen. The boiling point of paraffin wax is about 370 degrees Celsius, but the auto-ignition temperature of wax vapor is much lower, around 225 degrees Celsius. That means that once wax is hot enough to boil, it automatically has enough energy to ignite itself. No spark or flame needed. So the only thing stopping it from burning inside the test tube is the lack of oxygen. But as soon as enough oxygen mixes with that super hot vapor, it can auto-ignite instantly. So you don't even need a spark to ignite extremely hot wax. You just need wax vapor and enough oxygen. That's actually a little bit scary. But we still haven't answered why the hot wax sprays upward in the first place. Well, if you look closely at the glass after the experiment, even on the test tube that stayed intact, you'll see that it's full of tiny cracks. These hairline cracks leak thin jets of wax into the cold water. When that super hot wax suddenly cools and solidifies, it releases enough heat and traps enough steam to flash boil the water around it. That rapid expansion of steam blasts the hot wax upward in a fine mist. And once that mist reaches the right mixture of oxygen and wax, it ignites. So even though it doesn't always look like it, if there's an explosion without spilling the wax, that means that the glass has cracked.